it really operates well at about half throttle.
Found our first problem. Hey, don't forget to hang out to the end of the video where I show you the one problem that I have, and there's some more digging at the end. Today we're going to talk about mini excavators. I have been in the market for a little mini excavator for several years, and I don't have I just can't justify going out and buying a big name brand mini excavator. I can't spend $25,000-$30,000 on a mini excavator just for the homestead. So I've been kind of eyeballing these Chinese-made little 1-ton units, and each time that I went to look at one at like a show or anything like that, I'm really disappointed in them because of the quality of build. And I think that Maxx, this is a MEC10, I think they've addressed most of my concerns. And as you can see here in this video, I have one. So today I want to talk about what to look for and when you're looking for a mini excavator, and what to expect.
So the controls are pretty precise. Now, obviously I'm new at this with this machine. Got a lot of time on the tractor backhoe. The first thing I did with this is I changed the controls around to John Deere backhoe settings instead of the ISO. I'm so used to tractor backhoes, I don't want to learn a new pattern and then have to switch back and forth between the two. I think it'd just be, asinine, to be honest with you. So I've run a couple of other little mini X, not really run them, but played with them, and the controls are really jumpy, and that's another reason I think it's really good that you don't have to run this wide open. Like if you run it at about half throttle, maybe even a third throttle, it's got plenty of flow. It works plenty fast enough. You see here that it really doesn't affect the digging power. It just affects how fast it actually operates, but it's still at a half or a third. It's still so good that, the average person can be happy with it. And I could probably, we still have to talk loud, but you could sit beside me and talk to me, telling me like, hey, there's a water line, or, whatever. It's quiet enough that you could definitely hear somebody talk beside you, especially if they, if they talk loud. So let me tell you about this project. Tanya and I built an above ground pool in ground about 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. And it went great. We had a lot of good times out here, but we ended up selling the pool, or I think we gave the pool away. We just got tired of maintaining the pool, keep doing all the chemicals, keeping it clean. Our daughter's grown and moved away. We just didn't use the pool enough ourselves to warrant keeping it. So last year we gave the pool away, and we decided we're going to take this pool down and clean this area up and flatten it back out for the yard.
At the beginning of this video, we talked about the process of looking through, looking at these mini excavators for a number of years and being disappointed when I see one in person because of the quality of the build. You go to the auctions and you see a loose, you got loose bolts. Other issues is you'll see, especially on the YouTube, where people will buy these things and there's hydraulic leaks right away. For example, some of the very cheap models, the drive motors don't have a return line. So a good drive motor will have 3 lines going to it. It'll have the, you know, drive pressure going in and out, and then it'll also have a return line where if any of the hydraulic pressure gets pushed by the seals, it has a place to go back to the pump. And your cheaper versions don't have that. So that's one thing I noticed on the Maxx. It comes with a, you know, quality drive motors, hydraulic motors. So that's a good deal. Overheating, that's probably the biggest one, where you'll see these guys come in and buy these things off the auctions, and the first thing they do is they go spend another $1,000 on the thing, adding oil coolers and oil filters and, you know, those kind of things, where, you know, if equipment is built to use, it shouldn't have to be modified to use it. And here again, the Maxx comes with, you know, it comes standard with a hydraulic oil cooler. It has an oil filter that's in the tank. Now, I've had some people say, well, it doesn't have an oil filter. Well, yeah, it does have an oil filter. It's just actually internal to the tank. So when you change the fluid out, you drain the fluid and you open the top up and place the filter. I guess the other things is, yeah, you'll find that some of these places where, like, if you're going to buy one of these online, or you'll see them at like Craigslist or whatever, and they'll say, you know, 2-ton unit, or you know, it weighs 5,000 pounds, and you go look at it, you know, there's no way this thing weighs that much. Where Maxx has done a good job. This is about 2,100 pounds, and that's what it says it is. So they're being really fair in rating it for what it is. And here's a big one. So when you go to look at these, the electrical wiring is a nightmare. It's like a 3-year-old with some duct tape and the zip ties went in and just kind of plugged everything together and just stuck it. There's no uniformity. You can see, like, if there's two of them sitting on a lot side by side to the same one, neither one of them have been wired the same way. They're taped off and zip tied in different places. It's just so random, and there's such a lot of electrical problems with them because of that. And I think the electrical systems were less than, you know, it was still afterthought, if you will. And you'll see where people, again, they'll buy one of these things, and then the next thing they do, they'll go through and add, you know, a couple $100 worth of electrical parts, like a battery cutoff switch, and, again, adding the electric fan for the hydraulic cooler. Where Maxx, if you turn the key off, it's just off. You turn the key on, and it's on. It's just like a lawnmower. There's nothing really that complicated about it. It works. When you take it out of the crate, it just works from the start. The one thing is, when you're searching these, is like the manuals. Oh my gosh, they are less than desirable in the quality of their manuals. And Maxx again has knocked it out of the park. You can literally go download their manual on their website when you look at this little mini excavator, so you know what your manual's gonna look like before you ever get the mini excavator. It's clear, it's in good English, it's been well done. It's not an afterthought, and some cheap program didn't translate it. Fit and finish, I think that's another one too. Some of them, you go to these auctions, and the fit and finish of them are just horrible. And Maxx has done a really good job of making this thing look nice. The bolts are well, they're not like in at angles. The fit and finish of it is what you would expect in today's world as far as manufacturing. They don't want it to leave there looking like a 3-year-old with a spanner wrench put it together. Everything looks like it's like what you would expect it to.
This little mini hole here has got a digging depth of approximately 5 foot. But if you want to have or 5.5 foot, but if you want some serious, when they rated it at 5.5 feet, that is, that makes your bottom, the part that you can dig, very small. So at say 4 feet, which is what I'm digging right now, I can dig a really wide area at one time. And you know, plus it's a mini X, so it's very mobile compared to a tractor backhoe. Now the tractor backhoe, one of the attributes of it is it's on wheels. This thing is slow as far as moving. It's like a mile per hour, mile and a half per hour. It's very slow. But you know, you're not using this to race. But that's the one beautiful thing about a tractor. You can get from place to place pretty quick with your backhoe, because it's, you know, do 17, 18 miles an hour. Where this thing, if you're moving from one location to another inside a work site, you're doing it at a mile and a half per hour. Really wet. Got a big old bite there. Take a little break here, and we found our first problem. It's not really a big deal, nothing even to worry about, but I started smelling fumes, and I didn't smell that at the beginning. And what happened is this little muffler that projects the, you know, it blows the fumes outside the door here, has come loose, and it's letting exhaust blow up inside the engine compartment. And I did find this screw that fell out, and one of the screws fell out. It doesn't look like anything that's major, just wouldn't probably tighten down. So yeah, we'll cool off and we'll fix it. I'm going to take the time now to talk about some of the standard features on this unit. And I'm not talking about things that should be standard, like good valves and oil coolers and things that will allow you to use this machine just normally. I think you need an oil filter. You need a hydraulic cooler. That's just standard. That should be a standard thing. The valves should just work. That should be a standard thing. However, there's many of the mini X's that are not. I mean, the valves are so bad and it's so shaky that it's just basically unusable. But the standard features I'm talking about that comes with this, it's like a hydraulic thumb. This comes with a hydraulic thumb. But in addition to the hydraulic thumb, I think, which is way more valuable, I'm not a big fan of a hydraulic thumb. I'm not a big fan of a thumb in general. I don't think it's really a good use for a mini excavator. That's just my opinion. If you have a different one, please leave it in the comments. But it has diverter valves already on the, manual diverter valves on the bottom, where when I put my my hydraulic auger on this unit, I don't have to disconnect my thumb. So I just hook up the auger using some quick connects that I've already got for this unit. And I will just rotate the diverter valve, and that diverts the flow to the auger versus your thumb. So you still use the same foot pedal as you would with your thumb, but that will turn your auger left or right, or clockwise or counterclockwise. And that's standard.
Other things that are standard that I like are how the hoses are routed on the inside of the boom. I see so many of them that are in these little small mini X's that they're mounted on the outside. And you know what? There's plenty of large excavators that have the hoses on the outside, and that's probably good. But this is, a little bit extra protection, and the hoses that you're dealing with here are much smaller in diameter, plus, therefore not as strong. But that's some of the features that I thought were, pretty cool, that it's just standard. And then the little dozer blade, I don't have any video of it. I'll get some on the next video. I was using the little dozer blade to push, and it is very strong. Again, with a good quality motors on the back and a good quality hydraulic pump, and obviously the good quality Honda engine, it really will do some serious pushing. I mean, you can literally peel ground up. I would say it's probably need to do that, where I take my little tractor and tie it to it with a chain and see which one outpulls which. I mean, obviously I think the Mini X will, because it weighs more and it's got tracks, but it'd still be something fun to see. But that's just again a few of the functions that I thought I would tell you about. And another one, a lot of your small Mini X's don't have the ability to they rotate left and right, or clockwise and counterclockwise, but the boom itself on the Maxx will move left and right. So what you can do is you can, like in this situation here, I could rotate my boom to the left and then rotate the whole unit a little further around and get a lot closer digging. I'm not to that skill level yet. I didn't think about it, and this was doing good enough that it didn't really matter. If you're going to dig up beside a house, that's a beautiful thing, where you can rotate the boom to the left or right, and then rotate your whole trunnion, I guess you'd call it, or turret, around, and then that way you can dig right up next to the house. So those are some of the things that I thought were worth mentioning. And guys, I appreciate you watching this, and enjoy the rest of this digging. I don't know how long it goes, but God bless. Have a great day.